Greetings, everyone. DFG here, guys. Hey, uh, usually, or at least I'm trying to condition myself to be very selective about what I have or what I want to share my insider comments on. But in this case, I felt that even though it's somewhat beneath, what I believe is intellectually stimulating and definitely somewhat beneath what I truly feel is important, I'm going to share my thoughts around this whole Philadelphia Eagles going to the White House. Um, it's just very, very surprising to me how much emphasis is being placed on something that, quite frankly, when you look at the broader scheme of things, it's so minute and so irrelevant that it's hard for me, as a man of color, to even understand why anyone would give a damn, especially, people of color. Just being transparent about it. I mean, I don't see how that becomes important for grown people, men and women, adults. With all of the other challenges that we're confronted with in this nation, a football team who plays a football game has become the topic of controversy. Come on, guys. You have to be a little bit more sophisticated than that if you want to be respected by the general society. You have to be a lot more sophisticated than that. It's just like the whole thing with Kanye West and Colin Kaepernick, going to the symposium, I guess, at the White House to talk to Trump. And everyone seems to have an opinion about that, which I guess since opinions are being shared, I'll share my opinion about that. That's buffoonery. Our representatives as people of color are not entertainers and athletes. Since when? I don't ever remember having any type of council meeting or community meeting or group organizational meeting, and we designated comedians and athletes to be our spokespeople, whether it be LeBron James or Colin Kaepernick or hell Eddie Murphy or shit Bill Cosby, any of these entertainers, and athletes. I almost called them. I'm not going to call them buffoons, but I almost called them buffoons. Because those individuals are what they are. They play games, they sing songs, they entertain the masses. They do not represent social issues in terms of the collective. In other words, in any other society, including the white society here in America, those people who represent them are people who are elected by them. And when they go and they speak for those people, they speak the issues that those people sent them there to speak about, and nothing more or nothing less. But as a community of people, talking about back now to so-called people of color, African Americans, I'm gonna give you, this is what we need to be focused on. We need to be focused on police violence. Everywhere you look, you see some act of police violence against men and women of color, disproportionately so. Healthcare reform. I mean, and I'm not, with this Obamacare being rescinded, black people are going to be up the creek without a damn paddle when it comes down to getting sick and wellness. Living wages. You know what I'm saying? On the scale from a wage standpoint, people of color are at the lowest economic rung of that ladder. Talking about, in this case, men of color. I could take that one more step farther. Let me give you a couple other things real quick. Mass incarceration, disproportionately. Less than, 15% of the population, almost 50% of the men who are in prison, men and women of color in prison. And if you add Hispanics in there, you're talking about 30% of the population and over 60%. Those are issues. That's something that you ought to be concerned about. What is going on in those communities, or what is going on as a nation that's causing that type of mass incarceration, imprisonment of men and women of color? Then you take that and you move a little bit farther than that. How about drug epidemics? What's going on with, with the opioids? What's going on, with crack cocaine? You know what I'm saying? Which I suspect is another form of opioid. And the other drugs that are heavily penetrated or concentrated in the inner cities or so-called African American Hispanic communities. What about, the single parent homes? Well, one parent is there trying to raise a child, when we all know in a safe home, the best environment for a child are two-parent homes. How about, missing children? And if you remember my last video, we talked about 800,000 missing children, 2,000 missing children every single day lost in our system, in our government, in our foster care system. Gone. Nobody knows where these kids are. 2,000 every day. And then, last but not least, and I could probably go on, inadequate education. Educating kids, in an education system that has very little to do with a positive self-image of who they are. A system that was set up, decades ago, maybe even centuries ago, that was promoting one group at the expense of another group. And now you got the group that was being exploited by those who designed the education system that we understand. And now you're educating those children in that same system that was educating individuals who saw or looked down upon them, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago. See, those are where the issues are. And as people of color, this is where you fail society, your own society. I'm not concerned about the greater society, because at the end of the day, the greater society has shown a lack of interest in you. And so to get caught up in sports or sporting celebrations where who's going to go to the White House, is LeBron James and Steph Curry going to go up there and win the NBA championship? Who gives a damn, guys? Serious? Who cares? When all of these other things are happening right now. Teenage pregnancy, I forgot all about that. I didn't bring that up into the conversation. Abortions. 15 million abortions in the African American community in the last 15 years. Last decade or so, I'm sorry. 15 million. Men not being accountable for your sexual, and I'm going to say, in this case, your predatorial attitude. Because you are a predator. And I'm talking now strictly to men of color. If you're not a man of color, I'm sure you can listen in on this conversation, but this is not your conversation. Talking to strictly men of color. If you go out and you impregnate a female, and you know that you are not going to take care of your responsibilities to father that child, raise that child, take care of that child, ensure that child is a safe passage into adulthood, you're nothing but a sophisticated sexual predator. That's what you are. A sophisticated sexual predator. So when we get back to this, well, let me get us back to where I began this conversation. Who cares if the Philadelphia Eagles go to the White House or don't go to the White House? Trust me, guys, that's not going to change anything inside of your community, and I guarantee it ain't going to change anything for you. So it's time to grow up and think like, adults and act like adults. If you want the greater community to respect you, then goddamn, you got to show you respect yourself. And having, entertainers and athletes. I don't give a damn how well they can shoot a basketball or how great they can sing or produce a damn song. That's not representation of sophisticated people who are in a massive struggle for the basic necessities of survival in this country. You got bigger issues, and you need to show the broader community that you're mature enough and sophisticated enough to understand that and deal with that, and turn off the goddamn television. Just one man's opinion. Now, DFG, hope you subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments, of course, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Peace.